the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I bring you greetings from His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and the people of the Republic of Uganda. I want to thank the United Nations Economic Commission and the partners for inviting me and Uganda to be part of this 10th forum. I therefore congratulate you upon convening this important forum for Africa and beyond, which brings us together to reflect not only on the progress of SDGs and the Agenda 2063, but also generate ideas on accelerating Africa's sustainable development. This forum has been organized at a critical time for Africa and the world, following the launch of the second 10-year implementation plan of Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, and the adoption of the Sustainable Development Goals commitment during the New York SDG Summit of last year, September, as you all know. Just last week, if I can inform you, I was in New York at the invitation of the President of the UN General Assembly to participate in the UN Sustainability Week. Key on the agenda was discussing debt sustainability, a critical challenge for many developing countries. I know that many of African countries follow in the same category, and this should be an awakening call. We must stop being followers in the global discussion, but rather innovators and solution providers for many of the African challenges. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we take note of the slow progress on both SDGs and Agenda 2063. We must consciously address issues of financial or financing for these two agendas. We must, or we should, reiterate the call for the reform of the global financial architecture to ensure favorable financing terms, especially the long-term financing for developing countries, since financing is a major trigger for sustainable economic development. That notwithstanding, African government should continue to be innovative by initiating interventions that can address poverty, improve the household incomes, and the other social protection programs. For instance, recently, the government of Uganda has implemented several initiatives to foster income generation and improve standards of living for all. And these include, I know some of you have this, the implementation of the parish development model, which is targeting to move the 39% of our population who are still in subsistence production to money economy. Additionally, Uganda government is implementing the Youth Livelihood Program. We have another program called EMYOGA, Women Entrepreneurship Fund, the Small Business Recovery Fund, Agricultural Credit Facility, among others. All these programs aim at leaving no one behind in the journey of sustainable development. Your Excellencies, Uganda, like many other countries, has come up with key commitments to accelerate sustainable development. And these commitments are in areas of strengthening trade financing, and investment mechanisms, climate-smart agriculture, strengthening data production approaches, science, technology, and innovation as a driver for sustainable economic growth of all citizens. As such, I urge the international community to continue supporting and promoting global and country-level policy space in science, technology, and innovation. As you all know, Uganda is the chair of both non-allied movement and G77 plus China. I re-echo Uganda's urgent call for joint and coordinated action-oriented efforts to strengthen and harness the growing potential of South-South cooperation and in pursuing sustainable development in its three social, economic, and environmental dimensions. As such, and as Africa, we must remain focused to the fact that regional trade has the potential to back regional and national development, and that it can lead to greater economic and political cooperation. We must take advantage of the African continental free trade area, which is approximately 1.4 billion people. The East African Community, COMESA, ECOWAS, and to stop exporting raw materials, but add value to our materials and agricultural products, and foster trading among ourselves. The earlier we did this, the better for the African people. The strengths of Africa should be used to exercise considerable influence, particularly at the UN, for effective transformation process for the better of a common future. In conclusion, as Africa, we should stand together and have one voice during the negotiations for the Pact for the Future and the upcoming United Nations Summit, which will be held in New York in September this year. We should clearly define our priorities that favor acceleration of growth for African countries by maintaining unity and solidarity. For example, in order to achieve global affluence, we must get rid of exploitative phenomenon of commercial lending. Commercial lending should be for goods of frivolity, such as spirits and perfumes, etc. However, for infrastructure, I repeat, for infrastructure, manufacturing, and for some of the services such as tourism, education, health, energy, the borrowing must be concessional, low interest rate, and taking long to be paid back. In that case, much of the African continent, and indeed the world, will surge forward with prosperity. The present exploitative debts should be cancelled. They should cancel these debts, because they are a fetter to generalized socio-economic transformation. I wish all of us, the distinguished delegates gathered here in Addis Ababa, fruitful and action-oriented deliberations. I thank you.